Hello everyone. Besides COVID-19, one of the hottest topic around is cryptocurrency.
Welcome to the world. Bitcoin festival ever happened in the history with world-class top speaker.
And we believe that Bitcoin is the best financial instrument to store your wealth against inflation and capture the value of your hard work so that it won't leak.
So the very good ideology about decentralized, one perfect example that would be Bitcoin. No governments in the world can manage it. It's 100% decentralized to every common man across the planet.
Bitcoin is deemed property by the IRS, and most countries deem it as property, which makes it an asset, not a currency. And the strongest currency is the dollar, and the strongest asset is Bitcoin.
It's not what I want or you want, it's what the institutions want. Institutions that are just stepping in or considering getting involved in allocating to crypto want one thing, Bitcoin. We're not going to print $2 trillion worth of paper. That currency is going to be digital.
So here's stocks. The government will make sure it doesn't crash. Gold will not crash, but crypto could. You know why? Because the Fed doesn't want to. Because the reason I like crypto, the reason I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff, is I don't like the Fed.
Hello, I'm Dr. Asheridan, Bitcoin Academy Head Professor. I will teach you how to know exactly when to buy Bitcoin and what the Bitcoin and the other crypto are going to do in the coming months.
Biggest gathering of Bitcoin enthusiasts coming together to create an extraordinary movement.
The Global Bitcoin Festival in this October. And this is a gathering of industrial experts and enthusiastic, passionate Bitcoin community. It is a movement. This movement aims to update, to promote, to educate the adoption of Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to join this movement. Yeah, sign up for the link below for this movement, the Global Bitcoin Festival. And I'll see you there. Hello there. Welcome to Happy Wednesday. We already survived. Now we are in the middle of the week. Now today is very exciting because Bitcoin is about to hit all-time high. It could happen anytime right now or even today, right? So many of you are very happy because you got in early. Many are not so happy because you wish you would have got in early. So let's discuss this. My name is Richard Tan from Success Resources. We are the world leading education provider every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is streamed live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are making videos on Bitcoins and cryptocurrency investing. If this is the topic you like to learn more about, make sure you subscribe. Click on the notification bell, cling, so that whenever we have a video, you are the first to know. I'm very delighted to bring my friend, also my teacher, Dr. Clement Chan, to the program. He is an authority in financial investing, and he is no stranger to many people because he has many thousands of students all over the world, and he coached them in the art of wealth creation. Welcome, Dr. Clement.
Wow, Richard. Welcome back, and so good to be here again on Wednesday. And today, as you said it very accurately, we are a whisker away from the all-time high. We're going to witness history together, my dear Richard.
Well, all-time high means in the history of Bitcoin in the last 12 years, this is the moment. Now, let's go to some topic today. And the first Bitcoin future ETF, right, start trading on Tuesday, right, New York time, and it have achieved record volume of 1 billion in a single day. Now it is the highest in the history of ETF. Now, question to you, Dr. Clement, is this: what do you think will be the impact of this Bitcoin future ETF on the Bitcoin price?
Wow, that's a great start to a wonderful session. And before we even get there, Richard, you know, I really want to put on the record right now, this is the chart of Bitcoin. And, you know, we really gone a long way. This was the previous all-time high. And back then it was kind of trading at 64,854. So that is the real number that we need to beat to be an all-time historical high. All right. And
I remember your smiley face. Where's your smiley face? Draw a smiley face there.
And I draw a smiley face right here, remember? And then we started on the record right here on this red candle when Bitcoin was trading at 30,000. And this was the first time we started streaming our YouTube live. And today we have kind of broke the record, over 50 episodes of the YouTube. And guess what? We have led the movement and the community to the current ready to break all-time high right here. So, you know, Richard, this is really phenomenal. I mean, we come through really a long way to this part, and then we got to put on record. In fact, we fulfill half of the vision. What is the meaning of half of the vision? The first vision is to really take our community through a period of what we call the Red Sea, the valley of the shadow of death. And we really went through this whole period religiously 3 times a week. When the market was down at 30,000, 20,000, we keep telling all you guys, hang on, don't give up, do not sell at a loss. We press through. And then today we are just one whisker. What is the one whisker that we are away from? All right. So here we go. One more time. The all-time high is 64,854. And today we are at 64,486. We are just like a few hundred bucks away from the all-time high. And that was the reason why back then we created a vision. We kind of, let me just come back to the vision that we draw this really beautiful image, right? So step 1, we draw a pair of eyes right here, 1, and then 2, and then we tell everybody, hey, hang on in there, right? We're going to go through this valley of the shadow of death, and then we kind of put a nose right here, and that's our smiley face. We've gone through really a lot with our community. So the first half of our vision, we bring to pass. Ladies and gentlemen, you are right now finally witnessing the history of the all-time high. Now, the second part of the vision that Richard and I kind of shared together with all of you is that how do you create 10 times, 10x return for your portfolio to create what we call the generational wealth? And that's the reason why today we are going to talk to you about the ETF. So let me dive into the ETF. I was watching the market last night. The ticker symbol, historical moment, and everybody got to witness it. That was the first time a Bitcoin futures ETF is trading on the New York Stock Exchange right over here. Ticker symbol BITO, BITO. And then they opened and shot to a high of $42 per share, right? And then, you know, everybody was just so excited. I was on CNBC Live, and then market kind of bring it down, and then slowly start to navigate up to close at what he attempted to do, $42. Holy moly, this is the most historical moment ever in the history of Bitcoin as of today, right? And when we look at this, I want to show all of you the second chart right here. This is Coinbase. And back then, earlier part this year, you know, we rallied our community to take part in the Coinbase IPO. That was like crazy moment. We shot up to 400 bucks. And then it kind of moved down because it goes in correlation with the price of Bitcoin movement, right? And then yesterday night, boom, broke 300. This, again, is an important milestone. And we were sharing with all of our viewers that back then, the IPO date of Coinbase was the highest point of Bitcoin pricing. That was the 64854. It was hit on day 1 of Coinbase IPO trading. And then today, come back to at $300. And guess what? This right now is set to go to the moon because Facebook just announced yesterday that, hey, they're going to launch the Novi wallets, and the custodian is actually Coinbase. And that sent the stock price breaking above $300. This is a moment in history. And the really next trigger, really big trigger for all of us is waiting for Facebook to launch the stable coin. And that's called the DIEM. that will rock the planet. That's like 3 billion users on planet Earth ready to trade on a stable coin. And again, we stress to you that it always trade in a currency pair. The stable coin on DM will pair off with Bitcoin. And that's the reason why we put all this together. Holy mama! We have this beating $1 billion on the first day of trading on the Bitcoin futures ETF. And this is like monster. And with this 1 billion coming in, guess what? We have all the superheroes coming in to tell us really clearly, we are not looking really at 1 billion total net size. The real size we are looking at is 50 times of that. And that's looking at, holy moly, by Tom Lee from Fundstrat, 50 billion. That is the real number of the Bitcoin futures ETF. Now, this is the part that's really nerve-wracking because, again, this month we have 10 days left to November. We have an important date on 21st November. There'll be the official Bitcoin spot ETF ready to be approved. So we have exactly 1 month right now. And later on, I'll shock you all with another important news, all right? So with that being said, the real number, according to Tom Lee from Fundstrat, he's saying that if 50 billion is really going to come in and flood the market with the ETF, holy moly, we are looking at 168,000 to be exact to hit by end of this year. This is a monster. So what we need to do very quickly, we take 168 minus 64,000 and divided by 64, that's like 62% up from now, this point in time, all right? So this is like how long it will take? We are only left with exactly 2.5 months till the end of the year. So 62% return is like really monster big. So the final big news that's going to come out is this. Grayscale is going to shortcut the process. Richard, Grayscale is kind of shocking the market, okay? And the big news is this. It has formally kickstarted the process to convert its current pink sheet, which is a Grayscale Bitcoin Trust pink sheet trading on the OTC market, into an official Bitcoin spot ETF. Here we go. That is the real big number coming out right now. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, largest Bitcoin fund, says it has formally kicked off plan to convert into an ETF. So you have one joker card right now before 21st of November that will kind of change the entire dynamics. They want to be the first, way ahead of the really official one on the queue, which is 21st November. Grayscale right now has the potential to be the first Bitcoin spot ETF on planet Earth. And that's the reason why yesterday I posted out a picture, which is a momentous picture. We witnessed the ringing on the bell at the community. And guess what? Wow, this is like, holy moly. Let me show you guys the picture. This is a monumental picture. Here we go. Let me put it out and share with the audience right now. Here we go. Check this out. I've taken a picture of the BTO ringing of the bell, and it is stating very clearly right here, the first US Bitcoin linked ETF, and everybody were cheering away. We're on the floor with them on the New York Stock Exchange. And this is the part where it's very exciting. We are part and moment in history in time that everything is ringing on the New York Stock Exchange right there. So my friends, it's really not about just making the money. It's really part of being part of something so significant that will change our children and our grandchildren's lives forever. And right here, grandpa, right now, me, I'm not officially a grandpa, but we are looking at how will this impact our grandchildren down our generation stream. This is the moment in time you'll be so proud later on. You'll be sitting on your rocking chair and telling all your grandchildren, Grandpa been there, done that. I was there when they rang the bell. And that's for you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clement. Dr. Clement, maybe many of our audience can't differentiate between future ETF and spot ETF. Now, from what I know is that future ETF, a Bitcoin future ETF, had got nothing to do with the physical Bitcoin. That means they will predict what Bitcoin price will be. You don't have to be backed up by Bitcoin. Whereas spot ETF, you really have to back with Bitcoin. And even with this future ETF, it already drive the price up. And what more if it's a spot ETF? Can you explain a little bit more on the difference between future ETF and spot ETF to enlighten all of us?
Yes, absolutely, Richard. So I was watching Chairman Gary Gensler on CNBC last night, and he was being interviewed as the chairman of Securities Exchange Commission. And one of the sister commission under SEC, and that's in front of all of us right here, we call it the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So currently, for any futures related products, they'll be under the territory or the jurisdiction or the domicile or CFTC. So futures doesn't trade like spot. So look at these two words right now, and we're going to have a clear understanding. Futures, you don't own the underlying instrument straight away. That's the reason why it's called a future. So in contractual terms, when you're trading it, you don't own it. It's a future time period. But for spot means right now on the spot. If I buy, I own it. If I sell, I lose it. That's it. So the distinction between those two is more about regulation. Futures all flag under CFTC. And then spot comes under the biggest umbrella out there right now, which is Securities Exchange Commission. So how does this impact? Ready? The big differentiator between these two boils down to money. Let me say clearly, boils down to money. The traditional pension funds, retirement funds, sovereign wealth funds, they tend to invest in the spot market, not in the futures market. Because why? They want to keep in tandem with the current market. They can buy, sell, liquidate anytime at will because it's called a spot market. That's the reason why the Bitcoin spot ETF will be so much larger than the futures market. And that's the reason why when they open up the floodgate, mama, we're talking about sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, and family offices, all the big funds out there, including State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, everybody will flood into the spot market as the primary instrument of choice. Why? Because it's governed by the godfather of the day, Securities Exchange Commission. And that's why I think Chairman Gary Gensler is really, really smart guy. He wants to pace out the rollout, and he pace it in such a way, let the futures market kick off first. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Kick off, make sure the system's all running well, can manage 1 billion trading volume for one day, nothing crashed. Congratulations. They already know the issues. They're going to work on the back end right now extremely fast because they can see it coming already. The volume has right now kind of justified the real case for a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. This is what we needed to see last night. And case in point, $1 billion came in. And these are at the tier front, the very front end of the funds out there. Those who are extremely versatile with futures commodities trading, they are the guys putting in the 1 billion. Now, the bigger, fatter funds are waiting to see the show. Anything messed up, any red flags, any blind spot, all system clear, go! We are waiting for the Bitcoin spot ETF to roll out, and that's it. They'll start allocating their capital between 1% to 10%. The more adventurous will hit all the way to 50% of the capital. Like the extreme one will be like MicroStrategy, 100% capital, mama, show hand, put down on the table. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clement. Now, thank you, Dr. Clement. Now, the most sought after Bitcoin price forecast, yeah, because every now and then we say, what is the price of Bitcoin? What is the price of Bitcoin? The most sought after Bitcoin price forecast is the stock to flow model. Now, in June, when Bitcoin was only about 34,000, the stock to flow model predict that in August, the price of Bitcoin will be 47,000, and the price of Bitcoin in September will be 43,000, actually go down. Now, in October will be 63. Now, and this is just the worst case scenario. Now, of course, looking back, Bitcoin did hit 47,000 in August, just like, the missing was like less than 1%, right?
The variance.
Very accurate. Very accurate. The variance was just 1%. In September, the end of September, Bitcoin was 43. Also, the variance less than 1%. Now, we are now in October. Stock to flow predict that we will hit minimum 63,000, and it has come to pass. Yesterday, or the 1 or 2 days before, it was 63. So it is spot on. Now, question for you is this, Dr. Clement, is moving forward, can you explain to us what stock to flow model have for us for the month of November and December, and also maybe beyond 2022?
Wow, that's a great question, Richard. And the background of Plan B is using a quantitative approach. So let's really dive in to study this article that's published by the Daily Hodl. And the headline goes this way: Plan B unveils Bitcoin price prediction for end of 2021, which everybody is expecting right now. As what Richard has highlighted, he kind of always hits spot on, and the variance is maybe about one percentage point. The forecast when current crypto cycle will collapse, all right? So they think about the up and the down. So here we go. Let's go right up here. This is the renowned quantitative analyst Plan B, revealing that what he thinks the end of this year will bring for Bitcoin, how much longer the current crypto market, bull market can last, all right? So I think this is on top of everybody's mind. And you know what? I was just on Zoom class together with Pom. We call him short name Pom, Anthony Pomplano. And, he is being the first to apply the stock to flow S2F model to Bitcoin, says you'll be caught off guard if Bitcoin remains below the 6-figure mark by the end of 2021. So everybody kind of expecting to break 100,000, all right? So how do we connect the dots? We have Fundstrat looking at $168,000, looking at 50 billion instead of the 1 billion that was traded yesterday. And we are looking at low-hanging fruits like the upcoming Bitcoin spot ETF approval to be known. And another really big one that nobody really wants to talk about is the launch of Facebook digital currency or stablecoin known as DIEM. They have officially launched the Novi wallets, custodian, Coinbase. Now, everybody right now begin to see, hey, oh my gosh, teacher, all this is connecting the dots in the entire ecosystem from PayPal all the way to Square, all the way to Twitter, Jack Dorsey, Katie Woods, ARK Invest. Oh my gosh, everybody is coming together, including Elon Musk from Tesla. The game is not over yet. So this is really building up a lot of excitement. And when you put all this into the pot, cooking the curry, kind of the smell, you can really smell it. You're not tasting it yet. So here we go. I would be very happy, as according to Plan B, I'll be very, very surprised if Bitcoin price will be below 100,000 at the end of the year. This will sort of invalidate my views, my models, and that will certainly surprise me. I do think we'll see a price that's at least 135,000 by Christmas, because that's what my floor model says. Basically, I'm using 3 kinds of models that all say the same things. And why we always kind of want to use 3 and not 2 and not 1, because this is the idea of triangulation. You connect 3 things, and a side note, this is like, in the very, very beginning of time, many of the, Richard, sidetrack a little bit, many of the atheists, they were trying to prove the non-existence of God. And they go through different time periods and different geographies, different regions, and try to triangulate. And guess what? All point to the same thing. There's the existence of a God. So this is what they are trying to do on the math model as well, right? So here we go. Dun, 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 dun. If we look at the on-chain signals right now, I will say that top is at least a couple of months, say 6 months from here. Now, if we count by our fingers, November, 1 month, December, January, February, March, April, we're going to hit all the way, push all the way to Q2 2022. So by the end of Q1, which is what I just calculated in front of you, right? So the top end, this is the most important part. Dun, 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 dun. The top end of Plan B as to stock to flow model X pins 288,000 for Bitcoin at the peak of this cycle. All right, 288,000. Now, let me give you the calculation of what that means. I take out my calculator right now. 288 divided by 8,000. That is 36 times. Now, I'm going to draw in front of everybody right now, kind of shock you guys with this number, all right? So let me let me find a space to draw this in front of you. Okay, here we go. We're going to sidetrack a little bit and check this out. Let me draw in front of you right now and check this out. So you guys can see my beautiful yellow color right now, right? Going to start typing here. The first Bitcoin halving, first halving, all right, resulted in 92x. And then the second halving resulted in 29x, all right? So this is coming really, really beautiful. And we have been preaching about the idea that, hey, the third halving, it must fall somewhere in between the number called 9229. Really easy to remember. So I'm going to type right now, the third halving. It will flow easily between 9229x. All right. So maybe I put a 9229x. So it's easy for you to understand. All right. 9229. Now, what I did just now, I took 288,000 divided by day one pricing of the third Bitcoin halving trading day. That was 8,000. Divided by 8,000, ladies and gentlemen, I got answer right now. The answer is mama. We are hitting 36x. And this 36x, we are always calculating from day one pricing of the third halving event. So it is coming to pass everything that we've been thinking about from the very, very beginning, that it shall fall between, hang on a minute, it shall fall easily between, oh my gosh, too excited right now, hang on a minute, it shall fall anything in between 92x or 29x. And this is coming to pass at 36x. So with this idea right now, I move back whatever we are talking about from plan B. Here we go. We come back to here. And you can see this is really gorgeous, right? Really, really gorgeous. Everything, you know, from our own model to plan B model coming to pass. Wow. And they're wanting to push it further. What do I mean by wanting to push it further? I will not be surprised even to see in Q1, Q2 next year, prices of 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. You know why? Why are we really, we are trying to stretch the models. I'm also pushing the parameters of the model. Why? Because something that we cannot anticipate is this, which I'm going to shock everybody today. The real number is not plan B. The real number, we're going to trash and crash and beat up the ass of this guy. Ready? How many of you are ready? Can I see some response from the Zoom chat? You guys are quiet. I'm not sure. Are you still alive or not? Hello? Can you please type in ready? Hello? Why? Because the real thing we're going to trash and crash and kick the ass of this guy is found right here. Nobody talks about this on planet Earth. Let me tell you right now, officially from Dr. Clement Chan. The real number to beat is the stock price of Berkshire Hathaway, the most expensive stock on planet Earth. Until the day we can accept the fact that cryptocurrency will overtake and overrule planet Earth, we need to beat this guy first. And that's the reason why they were all figuring out, is it 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, or 500,000? But nobody there to say out, I say out right now, the number to beat is Warren Buffett. $428,000. That is the real number to beat. The day that Bitcoin surpassed this number, I think old man has to eat rat poison, because that's exactly what he said about us. He said Bitcoin traders are all rat poisons. We're spreading poison on planet Earth. And then take a look at this. Somebody has already beaten him. Official. Elon Musk is right now worth 230 billion. Combining Bill Gates and Warren Buffett today, he had kicked their asses really hard right now. Proven to them they are wrong. They lost touch already. This is the generation of the millennials. This whole .com, what we call the meme stocks, the AMC, the GameStop traders have shifted the entire playing ground. And Jim Cramer said it really, really well last night. He told Chairman Gary Gensler, hey, you know, you want to protect the traders out there, but guess what? We just came out of 2008 financial crisis. We created a generation of depressed, demoralized, suicidal traders out there who've gone through the mortgage crisis crash. But right now, what has Robinhood brought for us? A fresh blood of traders, all excited, really enthusiastic, and really engaged with the community. And you know what? They bring the stock market up. And in order for crypto to overtake the stock market, we need to kick the ass of this company. Let me repeat again, the real number to beat is $430,000 Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares. And that's the reason why Bitcoin coming to next year, this is the target already. The moment it beats this number, every fund manager will have to shift 50% of the asset under management over to cryptocurrency. And that is the one that will drive it to $1 million per coin. Wow, Richard, I finally say it out. Back to you,
Thank you,
Richard.
Dr. Clement. Wow, thank you, Dr. Clement. Well, I guess some people are really old, but some people age is just a number. It will be amazing and fantastic for Bitcoin price to match Warren Buffett company's stocks, right? Because that is the highest in the world, and Bitcoin beat that. That would be amazing, amazing. And it's so amazing that Elon Musk is now richer than Warren Buffett and Bill Gates add together. Both of them are, well, I would say that, I mean, we all use Microsoft, they did contribute, but you know, the time must move on and young people are there. Now, today, I spoke to another old man. I spoke to another old man. Okay, now he's an old friend, and I met him. I'm happy to meet him like 20 over years ago, and I learned a lot from him. So I talked to Robert Kiyosaki today. Yeah, this morning I spoke to him, and I say hello to him, and some of our staff also, say hello to him. So when I met him, when I chat with him today online, and I told him, because I was looking at my trading view also, and I told him, hey, you know, Robert, Bitcoin has just hit 64,000. And I was really excited. But you know, Robert being Robert Kiyosaki, right? Robert being a very tough teacher, he wasn't like laughing or excited like me. He says, well, Bitcoin is 64,000 right now. And he says, why you didn't buy at 6,000? Because he says, I bought at 6,000. Why you didn't buy at 6,000? He says, I bought gold at lowest 300, you know, and I bought Bitcoin at 6,000. Why you didn't buy at 6,000? Bitcoin, he says, Bitcoin will go to 1.2 million. He says, I'm not going to buy at 1.2 million. Yeah. Now that caused me to think a little bit, and I asked him the next question. I say, Robert, how is it that you are able to buy in that early at 6,000? And he says, it is about willing to study and be educated. It is about willing to study and be educated. He said this, he says, people just want to be rich, but they don't want to study and they don't want to be educated. Now, Dr. Clement, my question for you. You also went into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was about $8,000, very, very early. So my question for you is, what is your comment on what Robert says? And you went in early, and how do you do that?
Wow, you know, this brought back so many fond memories, Richard. You know, I remembered back in the days when I was an undergraduate at Nanyang Technological University, and I chanced upon his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was the day before, right before an exam paper. I didn't study for the exam, and I took the whole night to finish one short reading, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It kind of blew my mind apart. And that's the reason why, you know, we have to give respect and credit to the man who has shaped generations of investors, business owners out there through his simple book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And really, he's like a daddy to all of us, a very, very good and stern daddy. And I kind of know he probably scolded Richard. How come you never buy $600? So, or $6,000. So this is the part where he's so spot on. We really need to get educated and think out of the box. And for my own journey, it really started because of another great papa out there, and that's Jim Rogers. You know, I started applying my mind thinking about digital currency back in the year of 2019. And I was granted a very rare opportunity. There's only 30 of us who get to meet. Back then, Public Bank of China, PBOC chairman, who's leading the launch of DCP, Digital Currency Electronic Payment in China. So he was invited in Singapore. 30 of us were kind of gathered there. And first thing he stepped in the room, he asked, any media around? And the organizer kind of panicked and checked. No, sir, there's no media around. You can speak as per your will. And he unveiled the strategy for DCP, Digital Currency Electronic Payment. That was in 2019. I dived into it and I said, I got to find out more. And as I researched more, I begin to be surrounded by so many whales out of China. These guys are holding like few thousand Bitcoins back then. Not even 10, 20, or 100, by the few thousand Bitcoins. Like, what's going on? What the heck is going on here? And these are like super, super duper rich, and they are all surrounded by bodyguards everywhere they go. It's like entourage, right? I said, there's something cooking here, right? And then I educated myself, and I realized that the secret back then, 2019, was that if China were to launch digital yuan, then it must be paired off with what we call a currency pair. And the currency pair to pair with digital yuan would be Bitcoin. That was my thesis in 2019. And I announced that in front of 20,000 Chinese from China. I say, this is the moment in time I believe digital yuan will kick off, because they needed a weapon to fight the US, especially the US dollars. This is the time to get into Bitcoin. And I took my bet with them. And then within 7 days later, President Xi Jinping actually announced that, you know, blockchain should be the core technology of China for the next 10 years. Wow, spot on. And then fast forward to 2020, during Chinese New Year, I got to meet up with another papa. That's Jim Rogers, partner of George Soros, very famously started the Quantum Fund. And he shared with me, Clement, I know about your work in the US stock market, but you're missing out the fund right here. You got to look at China. Again, the second guy to telling me, look at China. So I said, okay, I'll go and look into China. Again, what I found out back then, Bitcoin is ripe for major bursts. And that's the reason why on the third Bitcoin halving, which by then is kind of late in terms of Robert Kiyosaki timeline, because on the first day of trading of the third Bitcoin halving, 12th of May 2020, we're trading at $8,000 per coin, right? So that was my moment. We went in back by $8,000 per coin and really snap it up. On day one of trading, we want to lock in 99,229. It will fall between 92x to 29x. And coming to pass, we recalculated just now, it probably hit about 36x. And that was my moment. So my dear friends, you know, Richard and I started this like 50 episodes away, long time ago, like started in June when the price was depressed about $28,000. We have fulfilled our first half of the vision. Bring you all back to the all-time high. Right now, we are just like a few $100 away. And that's why you need to be educated. That's why not just educated alone, you need to be hanging out with the wheels out there. And you got to be part of our movement. And with that, Success Resources kind of launched an event called the Global Bitcoin Festival. So now y'all can see how we connected the dots and we see very clearly in our mind the future of this generational wealth asset. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clement, for sharing. So education is very important. Like Robert says, a lot of people want to be rich, but they don't want to be educated, or they didn't take time to be educated. And that's the reason why Robert says, you know, I went in at 6,000 and Clement went in at 8,000, you know, and that is the key, education. Now, before I ask Clement for his comment for the last question, I want to show you a warning that is on the social media that Clement's name and my name has been used. So this is it, right? Can you see that? Okay, this is it. Now, we will never ask you to send us money or on social media or Bitcoin, right? So even though you see Dr. Clement Chan's name there or my name there, we will never ask you to do that, because these are all impersonator. So just really, really be careful of sending. We will ask you to go for lunch, yes, but not not ask you to send us money. So that's very, very careful. Now, second thing is this, that this event will not be possible without the support of many, many people, right? Like I'd like to acknowledge the partner that have helped us and support the Global Bitcoin Festival. So these are the partner, right, that have helped us on the Global Bitcoin Festival. I want to acknowledge, of course, Michael Saylor, the most passionate Bitcoin evangelist. Then Gemini, they are registered in Singapore, one of the most secured. They are one of the most secured exchange around. Big Boy, Liquid, and Fullerton, Fullerton Marketing, and also SMI. SMI is a mining company. Now, if you have an opportunity, if you invest, if you are interested in mining, they are one of our great supporter, and many of those that you see on the screen right here, right? Yusan is a law firm, and many of these, right? So we can't do this event is not just us alone. We need your support, and one way you can support us is to tell your friends about this Global Bitcoin Festival. It is free of charge. The purpose is that we want to make it so easy for people to come and learn, okay? For people to come and learn about Bitcoin, and they use this instrument as a way to generate wealth for them and for their generation to come. So let me just want to ask Dr. Clement one last question, right, for today. Now, Dr. Clement, we are reaching the all-time high for Bitcoin, which is 64,800 plus. So my question to you is, do you take profit when Bitcoin hit all-time high, or you wait for it to go to 100 or and beyond? Question for you. I'm sure everybody want to ask this question, so let me ask you this question.
Yeah, so very, very great question, Richard. And that really depends on your game plan entering to Bitcoin. So I will share with you all the thesis behind our entry on the third halving event, 12th of May 2020. We set out a goal, and the goal is to hit 10x return. Now, 10x return, what exactly is the meaning of that? It means you generated 1,000% profit return. All right, you take away 20 behind, that's 10x. Now, 10x is a milestone among folks on Wall Street and hedge fund managers. We all typically aim for alpha of 10x and above. So depends really, number one, on a few factors. First, what is your entry price? So if your entry price is telling all of us, hey, teacher, today I'm going to buy Bitcoin for the first time in my life. Then your entry price 64,000. Then you just add 10 behind, 640,000 will be an exit point, right? You typically aim for 10x. But the journey towards 10x, point number two, is not a smooth sailing one. It's never a straight line per se. You have its ups and downs. So along the way, some people will be tempted to get out at 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. Nothing wrong with that. And I want to encourage you, the worst thing that you can ever do is selling at a loss. This is a golden rule. Please do not ever sell at a loss for Bitcoin, because it doesn't make any sense at all. You know about all these connecting the dots, and you go there, sell at a loss, you must be a nincompoop. All right, for the sake of a nasty word called stupidity. Do not sell at a loss. But if you say, teacher, along the way, by the way, I got other things I want to do. Perhaps I want to buy a house, buy a car, buy a Lambo, buy a Tesla, buy many, many things. Then that is the point in time you may want to think about taking some profits. So how do we establish point number two, your profits? When you are sitting like 5x on above, let me tell you, you have beaten every hedge fund manager out there. This is not simple, all right? So I typically encourage my students to put on a stop limit. stop limits such that as the price goes up, you are protected, but we are just being very careful to prevent a wild swan, what we call a black swan event. It's going to turn the prices really, really wild. And we've seen it in recent times with China coming all out to ban Bitcoin, with the uncertainty of Janet Yellen, who want to kind of police the cryptocurrency market. And all this finally come to pass. Now, point number 2, what other potential black swan event may happen? All right, listen very carefully. Black swan event may happen like, for example, the entire system crash. There's a possibility of that, all right? Anything is possible on planet Earth. There's a major hack. Anything is possible, all right? There might be some crazy events like, in recent history, what can we think of the recent crazy events? Like the .com crash. How would anyone expect year 2000 .com to crash? Number 2, how would anyone expect the United States and the British Army decided to invade Iraq to take over Saddam Hussein when he doesn't even possess a single weapons of mass destruction? Can you expect that? No. Number 3, 2008 financial crisis. Everything was booming. How would you expect the market to just crash overnight and then cause so many people to run into bankruptcies, right? And the next one, the most recent one, how do you even expect there's a pandemic crisis? How the heck pandemic crisis came about? We don't even know right now, right? It started, we call it Wuhan virus. Right now it's called the COVID-19. The names change along the way. So in future, the things that's, keeping me awake at night, the number 1, what happens is the trigger of war, a World War III, which is very real. China is getting very aggressive. They want to take back Taiwan. If they decide to go renegade and call for independence, you can bet very sure the missiles will start flying to Taiwan. That is already granted. So as a result, South China Sea right now becomes the playground of all the major forces looking at this spot. So this is on top of my mind. That is the trigger of China taking back Taiwan. Number 2, US-China relationships. So this relationship is kind of a recent event. You guys have seen how the Huawei daughter has returned to China safely because of this thing called human hostages. Wow, that is a name that the media call it, right? You capture my girl, I will capture your boy. So this game has been played out. But if something goes wrong in the middle, a missile will probably fire away. Number 3, we're also looking at North Korea, which is always a big question mark. He just fly off a missile yesterday, all right, as we spoke. For that or nothing, decided to fly a missile off. So something like this can just trigger an escalation and bring everything down altogether. So back to Richard's question, how do you handle it? So today, if you're hitting a 10x, congratulations. Please lock it in and say, I've been there, done that. I've done a 10x. And you don't have to sell everything. Just sell one coin, you also keep the record already. So it's all about getting your trophies lined up already, all right? So if you're entering today, then you straight away focus on 640,000 as your game plan. Every time aim towards about a 10x. And of course, those of you willing to stretch even longer, you buy, forever don't sell. Don't even think about selling, right? In fact, think about along the way, by the way, how do you make money from it? So one suggestion for you guys, a big shout out to SMI Vantage, who's kind of supporting our event right here. They offer to you Bitcoin mining. You can earn Bitcoin. As you mine, you earn Bitcoin. That's another way to get free Bitcoin along the way, by the way. So there are many, many things that you can do. And I can tell you that all these great ideas will be presented right here at this Mama event, the Global Bitcoin Festival. This is the Mama event of the year, all right? I call the greatest event of all time. And there's kind of updates right here. Holy moly. Right now you can see the list of speakers has been expanded. It's really, really mind-boggling. And, every one of them coming on board with their list of expertise to give you the insight to check your blind spot and thereby help you plan how do you get out with a 10x return. And I think that should be a reasonable basis, right? Like my own personal record is 100x. I did it once in my lifetime, 20 years of trading, 100x return. That's 10,000%. But it's like once in 20 years, right? It's not like every day that you're going to have this kind of opportunity. And then You go right here, holy moly, look at all these guys line up here. Every one of them bring together a community that's a very, very powerful community to guide you, to help you, and you'll be part of our movement. So right now, we are really officially counting down. We got only, wow, Richard, we got only 8 days left. And 8 days left, the event will kick off, and you don't want to miss this event, all right? So this is really, really important. Relating back to Richard's question, how should you exit? Always remember, never sell at a loss. And number 2, aim for your 10x. Because I bet you guys out there, most of you have not hit your 10x return before, ever before. And this will kind of create your generational wealth to come. Thank you. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clement. Thank you, Dr. Clement. So there is a link there. And for you to sign up for the program, you have not. And for you to invite your friend to sign up for the program. Now, many people ask, am I too late to go into Bitcoin? I just saw this news. Let me just share with you this news. Can you see me? Yes. Hope you can. Can Dr. Clement can see it? Cannot check.
No, nothing yet.
Nothing yet. So let me just check. How do I do it? Okay, share this. And okay, this is the one. Right, good. Okay, so I'm sure some of you know this lady. She is Maria Carey. Now, she just got into Bitcoin. Okay, she just got into Bitcoin. She says that, she's just learning about Bitcoin and just get into Bitcoin. So, well, if she just get in, so many of you are not too late. And she also credit to, she learned about Bitcoin from this Cryptopedia, an open source education resource created by Gemini. Okay, so Gemini has this resource system where you can go in and learn about everything about trading and about Bitcoin. So Maria Carey has just gone in, and I'm sure all of you are not too late. So thank you very, very much. And do sign up for the Global Bitcoin Festival, and also most important, inform your friend about this festival so that all your loved one and friend can come and learn together. And we have in Success Resources, we have this saying, family that learn together succeed together. So thank you very much, and wish you a wonderful Wednesday till we meet you again this coming Friday. Thank you. Hello everyone. Besides COVID-19, one of the hottest topic around is cryptocurrency.
Welcome to the world. Bitcoin Festival ever happened in the history with world-class top speaker.
And we believe that Bitcoin is the best financial instrument to store your wealth against inflation and capture the value of your hard work so that it won't leak.
So the very, very good ideology about decentralized, one perfect example, that would be Bitcoin. No governments in the world can manage it. It's 100% decentralized to every common man across the planet.
Bitcoin is deemed property by the IRS, and most countries deem it as property, which makes it an asset, not a currency. And the strongest currency is the dollar, and the strongest asset is Bitcoin.
It's not what I want or you want, it's what the institutions want. Institutions that are just stepping in or considering getting involved in allocating to crypto want one thing, Bitcoin. We're not going to print $2 trillion worth of paper. That currency is going to be digital.
So here's stocks. The government will make sure it doesn't crash. Gold will not crash, but crypto could. You know why? Because the Fed doesn't want to. Because the reason I like crypto, the reason I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff, is I don't like the Fed.
Hello, I'm Dr. Elon, Bitcoin Academy Head Professor. I will teach you how to know exactly when to buy Bitcoin and what the Bitcoin and the other crypto are going to do in the coming months.
Biggest gathering of Bitcoin enthusiasts coming together to create an extraordinary movement.
The Global Bitcoin Festival in this October. And this is a gathering of industrial expert and enthusiastic, passionate Bitcoin community. It is a movement. This movement aims to update, to promote, to educate the adoption of Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to join this movement. Yeah, sign up for the link below for this movement, the Global Bitcoin Festival. And I'll see you there.